say anything about gambling. It's not gambling. You know you're going to win.
I don't bet. What do you mean you don't bet? I mean, I don't bet.
You're listening to Bustin' Chops and Callin' Shots.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Back for another one tonight. We're going to do things a little different tonight, so you'll get me, AJ, and John for the first hour, and then the second hour, you're just going to get AJ and John doing a little draft talk. So, boys, how's your week been?
AJ,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, it's been great. What can I say? Down here in Middle Tennessee, we're having lovely weather, and I've been just soaking up every second of it. And there's always the occasional people calling during the middle of podcasts. There's that.
Yeah.
But of course, during this time of the season, we're talking about the draft, and for my team specifically, there's a lot of fun conversations floating around our local, radio, but I don't know exactly what that really means on the national scale. So I'm excited to talk about that with you guys later. But yeah, all in all, family's good. Everyone's been good. So glad to be here.
Good. Got a big tournament coming up this weekend. The big 8U softball tournament. Looking for the dub.
Okay.
For the dub. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. Practice was good tonight. I'm watching this Memphis Lakers game. We only had the two plays today, White Sox, Rangers, both of them dogs. We split out, so we made, enough for a Big Mac today on the little jingle extra. So, but it's, the past 2 weeks been a rough start to the NHL. We had the Rangers plus money last night, which was great, but then had the Knights, which let us down. Hit the money line parlay with Cavs, Suns, but I think in the NBA it's like 3-6. Hasn't got off to the start that I would have liked, but that's okay. It's early. We're only on game 2, so plenty of time to regroup and refocus. In baseball, we got off to the red hot start. In the past week's been a real struggle, but hey, that's the grind of it. I say this all the time. Football is easy on people even when they lose, because they only got to put up with it over the weekend. When you're betting every single day and you're trying to grind out winners, baseball, basketball, hockey, and it's all the same time. And look, nobody has paid attention to NHL and NBA all year till now it's the playoffs, right? So now you're really getting a situation it's turning into the NFL where the games are up, they're magnified, all that good stuff, right? So
This guy.
It's really important that you you can't let your eyes fool you. A good example was I got suckered in with the Warriors, right? The whole world was on the Warriors game 2, and I was like, I think they'll rise up, because they actually outplayed the Kings and had shots there game 1. They just missed there at the end. And then, the wheels kind of fell off. Now they go back, they're laying 5-6 points, depending on where you shop for your lines. So now, the Kings have been the best team on the road. Same thing here. LA, Memphis, I didn't like game 1. Game 2, I kind of leaned Memphis, but it went from -1 to +1. So I liked that because people were piling up on the Lakers, but I would have been like to get in 3.5. So that's why it wasn't a give out. So again, to all of our guys out there, I didn't forget how to pick winners. Most days we've split even or lost a unit, then gained it back, then lost. But, it's just grinding it out. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel really good. I feel really good about how things are shaping up, and got some nice future bets in hockey that I'm going to give out. So we'll do that later on.
Perfect. Yeah, baseball, we talk about it all the time, and it's a grind. It's an everyday grind. So it is more difficult. Yeah. NFL, college, it's Saturday, Sunday, and then it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? So
yeah,
baseball is harder. It's that grind. So we'll continue to work through it. It's going to be a great season. A lot of baseball left.
You're still trying to get used to the teams, the rules.
There's been a lot of changes this year, so you got to kind of feel out all that.
We got off to the hot start. We were like 8-1, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was like, okay, nothing's changed, and now things are starting to change, right? Yep. So, it's just about, we're still like 7 games over in baseball or whatever it is. But we haven't moved in like 2 weeks, right? It's been, we'll go up, then we go back down, then we back, and what's really hurt it has been, the NBA start, the 2-6 start is really what's hurt that, right? So,
Yep. Absolutely.
again, don't bet different. You got to bet them all the same. It doesn't matter if it's an NBA, NHL playoff game or a Tuesday baseball game. Your discipline, your money management has got to stay the same. And again, we're just trying to grind it out, right? And it comes in bunches. You're going to end up picking up 11, 12 games in a week. Next week, you might lose 1 or 2. Then you're picking up another 3. Then you're breaking even for 2 weeks. Then you know what I mean? But once it piles up, we're still going to end up 30 to 40 games over 500.
You can't turn that thing off, man.
What
My
is-
goodness.
I got it off. It's the computer. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You
He
put-
is
do not
technologically
disturb.
challenged.
Do not disturb.
How do I do that?
Just swipe down on your phone.
Here on Bustin'
and then
Chops and Callin' Shots, we're going to
All
teach
right, so
John
I
how to use
swipe
his
down.
laptop.
I
then
swipe
do
down
not-
on the phone and then what?
Do not disturb. It's I don't even know where it's at. It's
I
it
see
might-
a flashlight in a
might say like
camera button.
might
It
say
looks
like
like something I
personal.
used in high school.
it might say like personal or focus or something like that, and then you click that, and then you can put it on do not disturb.
I see none of that.
All right, fine.
Man,
Maybe
this
you
has
should
turned
just-
into amateur hour.
I mean,
Maybe
I
just-
got my phone off. It's ringing through the computer.
Just mute your computer then. How about that?
How,
Yeah.
how do I do that?
It's a button at the top. It's F. Or F10. F10.
So like that?
Yeah, try that. See if
Yeah. I mean, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
we can hear you
you.
still. Yeah.
All right. People on social media are
Yeah.
going to rip me apart for this segment.
Yeah, this is.
Never mind.
But look, I pick winners and coach. I don't do all this technology stuff. I'm really good at Googling, but I'll give you guys one guess what I'm good at Googling.
Yeah, we know. All of us know. And we pray for you
Yeah.
every day for it.
Amen.
All right, we're going to talk a little. I've been, I talked about on the last episode, working on the soccer thing. Give you kind of an update where we stand. So I'm going to continue to pick through the week, through this weekend, and then plan to start giving out soccer plays next week. Right now I'm at 28-17 since we started about a week and a half. 4-2 this week, not where I wanted to be. Manchester City today goes up 1-0. They miss a penalty shot early. Really should have been 2-0, and they let Bayern kind of come back and tie it late. So lose that one today. But we did. I did kind of play the draw with Inter Milan and Benfica. They scored to make that 3-3 in stoppage. So that would have been a 1-1 day. But the draw was plus 245. So when we start giving these out in soccer, there's a lot of plus money. Favorites a lot too. John talks about you don't want to bet favorites, be sleeping on a park bench. But in soccer, the idea is a little bit different. Really, favorites are going to roll most of the time. The draws, which you have to be careful with. So we're continuing to work through that. I had Liverpool on Monday. They win 6-1. I actually had them money line.
I hate liver.
and
I'm more
over.
of a scrapple kind of guy.
Yeah. But I mean, they dominated. I had the over. The over was 2.5. They won 6-1. So we're continuing to work on soccer. So far this week, we're at 4-2. USA plays Mexico tonight in a friendly. I like Team USA. They've kind of dominated Mexico here recently, especially they've won 3 straight. So we're continuing to work on that. Hopefully in the next week, we can start to give out some of those plays. And soccer is one of those things. It's really an all year long thing. Soccer doesn't really have an off. When some of the leagues are off on their summer break, you have the MLS is still going here in the US. So soccer will be an all year thing. So we'll continue to work through that, but hoping to get you guys some plays soon. Just kind of wanted to give you an update. So far, it's looking good. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with it, getting more comfortable with the trends, the teams. So we'll hopefully have some good plays for you all here soon.
That sounds fantastic.
Nice work, buddy.
Yeah, man. I've been really putting it in, studying, and it's been fun. Like I was working today, listening to the Man City game. I mean, I like soccer. I do. I always have. I think it's a lot of fun. But doing this has definitely got me even more excited about it. So I'm watching more of it. I'm following more of it, and having a great time with it. So it's actually been a lot of fun, and I've been picking more winners than losers, which is always a good thing. So
Yeah.
hopefully that'll help put some extra coin in y'all's pocket.
My basketball coach in high school said it was a communist sport. So I was
Really?
forbidden to watch it or pay attention to it.
Wow,
Really?
that was harsh.
Yeah.
That's harsh. I will say,
Yeah, you
MLS so far this season, I think I told John last night, like 6 or 7-2, I think is where the record. So U.S. soccer, I've been really good. I will say though, European soccer, it's a whole different ball.
Kind of a
like
different
it's so
thing.
much, so much more fun to watch. It's so much more fast, but not knocking the U.S. game, because I think MLS is still a great league, a lot of fun to watch. But it doesn't compare to European soccer. I mean, you talk about the Premier League, you have the UEFA Champions League today, that's still going on. It's a completely different. The environments are different, the stadiums are different, everything's different. So I mean, watching that Man City Bayern game today, I mean, the crowd's going nuts. It's a lot of fun. So
It's madness.
getting into it more and more.
Yeah, I know. And I've gotten more into MLS. Obviously, we've got Nashville SC that came here to town a couple of years ago, and so I've definitely enjoyed watching soccer, especially in a live setting. But when I was in Istanbul and over in Europe and got to see that live European soccer atmosphere, it is really unlike anything else in the world. I mean, almost more hostile of an environment than going into an NFL stadium, right?
Yep,
Like
absolutely.
it's very, very intense, and I respect the hell out of it. So regardless of what my high school basketball coach said. So.
Yeah, I mean, MLS, we have Sporting KC here, and going to a game there, I mean, the environment's fantastic. They're struggling quite a bit this year, but I'm really trying to convince Chelsea on this Italy trip we're getting ready to go on. Roma plays in Rome on the Sunday before we get on the cruise, and I really, really want to go see a game. So I'm trying to convince her to maybe Sunday evening go and watch a little soccer.
Now,
in
is
Rome.
Rome one of the places that shoots off like fireworks at people in the stadium?
Probably. I think that's just a European thing, man.
Soccer's the only sport where you can throw like cocktail Mazel-Tovs at people in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, they don't even sell hot dogs. They sell like weapons. The little
Cocktail?
concession guy walking up and down the thing.
Jeez.
Would you
Cocktail?
like a grid or a Mazel Tov or a bottle? Uh-huh.
It's so bad.
I got to keep track of like the
We
faux
need
pas.
there
the
needs
faux
to be
pas
a
that have-
board that keeps track
Cocktail
of the stuff John
Mazel
says.
Tovs. Okay,
Absolutely.
cocktail Mazel Tov. So it's a Molotov cocktail. Okay,
Yeah, same thing. That's what I just said.
but I got to keep track of this because you do this all the time, and I don't
You
want to call
do
you
all
out
the
in the
time.
middle of a segment, but like
You should just do
it
it.
really is hilarious.
Do it.
Like,
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Call him out.
no.
I was all
yeah.
over that thing. I was like a Saint Bernard on the bone.
Yeah, cocktail Mazel Tov. That's perfect. No,
Yeah.
this has got to go on. This is going to go on the notes.
It has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we think
I think the people appreciate my literature.
appreciate something. I don't think that's one of the things they appreciate though. No, we think NFL environments here are crazy, and they are. Like NFL games here, college games, but European soccer they're nuts. Like that's a completely different atmosphere. So I want
Yes,
to go over and
100%.
see some of these games.
Mazel Tov is what you say when you're
Yeah.
Jewish and you're cheering.
Isn't that like a
cheersing
toast, right?
somebody. Yeah, it's a toast. Yeah.
Nice job, John.
We-
Way to just screw it up in a whole bunch of different cultures. Nice job. Proud of you.
Yeah, you've offended all of the Russians and the Jews that
Yeah,
listen to
so-
the show.
Nice
I love
job.
the
Way to
Jews.
just
Look, if I had an accountant, it'd be a Jew. 100%.
goodness
And
gracious.
if you ever saw a Russian blonde, nothing sweeter than God made.
Okay. We're gonna move on to
Look, there's something
Okay,
that
nope,
gets
nope.
me about
Let
a
it
woman
go.
that goes, "Wash, cock, wash, cock."
the last 2 episodes. I just want to apologize to everyone listening. I don't know what is
What?
happening to him. He gets crazier every time we do this show. I try to keep him in line. It never
Because I'm
works.
searching for winners anywhere.
Searching for something.
Of course you do.
Yeah. All right. I know you guys are going to talk about draft. You're going to talk about NBA without me, but let's go through some of this stuff. Obviously, NFL news. We'll kind of start with that. We always kind of end with NFL, but let's kick it off. Jalen Hurts obviously signs a big deal. I think well deserved, right? I think
Back up
he's
the Brinks truck.
yeah. Well deserved though. If I'm the Eagles, I do the same thing. I think he more than proved himself to be their franchise quarterback.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he's the real deal,
Yeah.
and I think the
Yes,
Eagles have a
he
very,
has.
very bright future.
100%.
Question with this though, how does
Top
this
10
affect
quarterback.
Lamar? Yeah, easily top 10.
Yeah.
Knocking on top 5, I think. Close. He's close. If he plays this year like he did last year,
Yeah,
he's
he has a
knocking on
chance.
it.
He has a chance to top out at 5, maybe pass Josh Allen at 4.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's looking good. How does this affect Lamar's deal though? Because we're still in limbo with Lamar.
Those first three are in a class of their own. Mahomes, Burrow, and the Golden Locks. That's set. But after that,
Trevor Lawrence
it's
is not the third best quarterback in football.
All right.
You are out of your mind.
How many national championships the rest of those guys have?
At the NFL level, national championships don't matter anymore.
All right, just ask.
They don't.
For a friend. Just wait.
If
Just
you
wait.
never hoist a Lombardi, then you're talking about those national championships. But
I
if you're hoisting a
guarantee
Lombardi, nobody
he
cares.
hoists more Lombardis than Allen or Hurts. But go ahead. Let's continue. I don't want to go down
I
this
don't
road.
think so. But yeah. But how does this affect Lamar? Obviously, Lamar's still out there. Contract not done. I think he gets something done with the Ravens, but what is his contract going to look like? I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson right now.
Look, I got a lot to say, so I don't want to take away the thunder. So AJ, you and Chop kind of duke it out, and then I'll clean her up with my bulldozer.
Okay. Yeah, no, was the deal deserved? Yes, I think so. And I think it changes the whole landscape of how we think about how quarterbacks are paid in this league. I certainly think it affects Lamar Jackson, but I think it justifies a little bit what we saw in Cleveland with Deshaun. And even though there wasn't obviously the same amount of guaranteed money, it was close enough to the point where we say, okay, this is going to be a trend moving forward. Now, why are we still seeing this happen with Lamar in the Ravens? I don't know. I don't know why this still continues to be an issue, and why even other teams are not coming to the table, or maybe they're waiting until after the draft. I don't know exactly what's happening, but the fact that Jalen Hurts, who I think is deserved of it, and I think he's a really, really, really good, promising quarterback in this league. And yes, if he continues on this trend, he could crack that top 5 next year.
No.
I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's really even close. Certainly top 10. I think that the fact that Lamar is not, is not getting, especially after some of the things we've been hearing about him coming back and saying, look, I didn't want that much money. It wasn't about that. It was just, I wanted more than what they were offering, and so there was a lot of rumors flying around. I think it does say a lot. I think at this point in the game, to answer your question, Josh, would I take Hurts over Lamar? I think I might.
I actually think this hurts Lamar because I think you look at the contract for Hurts, $255 million, $179.304 million guaranteed. The Ravens were on Lamar with what we know was about $175 million guaranteed. There were rumors that they gave him up to $200 million guaranteed. I don't think he's getting anywhere close to that now because I don't think he is as good as Jalen Hurts at this stage. I just don't.
Well, and when did this deal really get done?
Right.
Got done at the owners' meeting.
Yep.
You want to know why? Because owners, agents are there.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking this stuff. Well, what would you pay Hurts? Well, what would you pay her? You know what I mean? Like, look, the owners and agents are into bed together because it's a business. Again, it's just like gambling. It's a business, right? Stop thinking about what you see with your eyes. Lamar, this whole agent thing has destroyed him.
Yep.
It really has. And it's put him in a bad light because then it comes out that he said, get me Odell and D Hopkins and we'll talk. Well, first off, I can see getting one of them. I think D Hop is way better. Like, I would love
way
D-Hop.
better.
Yeah. But let's be honest, both of them are a little long in the tooth. I mean, you want two old guys that in 3 years we're not, maybe in 2 years we're not talking about them as top
And
10
two guys.
I mean, I don't
healthy.
think Odell's a top 10 guy now anyway.
No.
Right? I think we're still living off the catch with the Giants and a great Super Bowl on a team that was just destined to win a Super Bowl and barely won it thanks to a horrible PI call, holding call on fourth down, but whatever. So, like, it just doesn't make Lamar, like, because I was like, man, they're doing him wrong, this and that. And I still think they have a little bit, right? I mean, but he has not put himself in a position of power. Right now, the best thing he can do is call up the Ravens and say, give me the same deal you gave Jalen Hurts and I'll be there tomorrow.
Yep. But I don't think he's getting that deal.
Best thing he can do. And honestly, that's probably the best thing the Ravens can do. However, as much as I'm a little down on Lamar, where I was up on Lamar, after this draft, I think teams are going to go at him and go at him hard. Because let's think about it. If you get Lamar, right? And I'm just going to use my Washington Commanders, which, you know, we're getting new ownership, so it's fun-loving times over here.
Like $7 billion, right?
So, well, it was $6 billion, but another offer came in for $7 billion. Either way, this thing should be done. I need it to get done by draft night, because I would think it would have to be done. Whoever the new owner is, I can see them being one to be like the Suns owner and make a splash.
Well, it's up to the NFL now, is what I read today. So the command, like Snyder and the new owner offer, they are in complete agreement. Now it's up to the NFL to approve the deal.
Yeah, so I can just see something like that where the Suns owner was on the job a week and traded for Durant.
Yeah.
So, and look, if you get Lamar, what the first round picks mean nothing, because you're going to be picking at the bottom half of the first round anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the first round's way overrated as it is. Look at the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick.
Brett Veach
right,
is
those great Redskin teams when I was a kid. Yeah, Russ Grimm was a first round pick, but Jacoby, Bostic, all those guys, they were late round. Like, we make a big fuss about the first round, and out of the 32 guys drafted, 22 to 25 of them are out of the league in 3 years. Right?
Yep.
Amen, coach. So I think Lamar has put himself in a bad light. Yeah, like I said, he's starting to kind of trend towards, you know, AJ Rogers a little bit.
Good.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't disagree. I think
we
that
talked about
situation is headed to a similar situation with what we're seeing. I can't even explain what's happening with A-Rod and Freak. I don't even know. Like, can we not talk about that tonight, by the way? Like, can we just not talk about that? Because, like, what is there to talk about there?
There's nothing.
It's
so stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the only thing I'll say about that, and then we don't need to go down the road, is like the Packers and Jets trying to play this stare-off game. Like, if I'm the Packers, I'm on the phone. I'm calling.
Yeah,
I'm calling San Francisco. I'm calling everybody.
Everybody.
And I'm telling them, at this point, look, if Green Bay's really dug their heels in like they said they have, because again, it's the same thing with Rodgers. You're picking at the back half of the first round if you get that first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the protected one, if I'm the Packers, I'm calling up every contender that needs a quarterback, and I'm just saying, look, you know what I mean? If I'm only going to get 2 2s, guess what? It ain't going to be with the Jets. I'm getting 2 2s from somebody else.
Yep. I'd be off the Jets completely at this point if I'm Green Bay.
And if you're the Jets, if you don't get Rodgers, and like I said, I don't think they go to the playoffs with him because the division's too tough. But if you whiffed on Garoppolo, David Carr, and Aaron Rodgers, every Jet fan is going to be on suicide watch. The mental health awareness in the city of New York will be through the roof. MetLife Center will have to put like a COVID balloon on it to keep all them nut jobs.
Yeah, they're used to that, though. They're used to it there in New York.
But they were close this time.
Everybody's
got to believe they're good.
For so long, yeah.
Missing out on one is one. They're about to miss out on all 3. Like, how can you be that bad at your job?
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is going to be their starting quarterback.
Oh, God.
I mean, I would probably take him over who they have. I mean...
Yeah?
Yeah. The Jets are just a dumpster fire. I don't have anything else to say about that. We talked about Lamar. I think if he has an agent, this whole situation never gets to this point because I think he signs the deal before last season. I don't think we're in contract negotiations at all. We talked about this a little bit when we were actually up in Minnesota. If Lamar had an agent, that deal would have gotten done last offseason. We wouldn't be here at all. He tried to do it himself. And I think especially, I feel like after Hurts' deal today, Lamar is going to get less money. And I think deservedly so. I don't think he is as good as Jalen Hurts right now.
Well,
I think he has screwed himself.
Well, his leverage is, okay, Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl. Great. I've won an MVP. I've had my 2 best years are way better than his best year, right? He's had a ton of weapons. I've had none. So, like, he's got some legs to stand on. But
Yeah.
I think the longer it drags out, the worse it gets for him, right?
Yeah.
Because,
Yes.
look, the Ravens are in a position that, we're going to talk about the draft later and really talk about gambling odds on the draft. I'm really excited about that. But, if you're the Ravens and you're sitting there and somebody like a Richardson falls, I mean, I don't think he's any good, but a lot of other people do.
We talk about all that round 2 value at the quarterback position.
Well, I don't think you're going to have a round 2 quarterback. If the only round 2 quarterback you'll have is Hooker, your Duggan, your Hayner, all those guys will be picked 4th round or later.
Really?
Everybody's down on all those quarterbacks.
Don't you wish
See-
you could stay and hang out with us and talk about the draft, John?
I think those are going to be some of the best quarterbacks out of this draft.
Yeah,
It might be.
might be.
It might be.
I mean, I think
Look at Brock Purdy.
I think Hooker, I think Hayner, I think Duggan, I think all 3 of those guys could end up being good NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah, so, I mean, Baltimore, things can happen quick, man. Look, next week's going to be fun, which, by the way, next week, 2-hour draft show. Our man Alex got his mock draft,
Yep.
and we're going to we're going to break down the draft, right?
I got to start studying.
Yep. If you want, you and AJ come up with a mock draft, and we'll just hit them all and go down through them. Who do you got at this pick? Who do you got at 2? We'll all do our 1s, then we'll all do our 2s, then we'll all do. You want to throw trades into it, and then I'm really going to focus on the gambling aspect of it. Really dive into that
Mhm.
for our guys so they can make some prop plays on Thursday for the draft.
Gotcha. All right, a little more. There you go.
Sorry, I hit the space bar and then that happened. So
That's
my
fine.
apologies.
Talk a little bit about this one. Obviously, Tua had some media stuff today. They've sent him to several different specialists. Everybody has given him a clear bill of health. He is ready for football activities. Did talk a little bit today, though, about he did contemplate retirement. I think anybody in their right mind after going through what he went through last year would have contemplated retirement. That doesn't surprise me at all. I do think he comes back and has a good year. I know John is way down on Tua. I think this offseason is going to allow him to fully get healthy. I think bring him back slowly. I think he can have a really good year next year. I think the way they've done this, obviously sending him off to specialists, having them clear him, he's going to be probably the most observed player throughout all of OTAs, throughout training camp. But I do think he can come back and make a splash. I expect Tua to have a good year.
Who's the backup quarterback on the roster now? I know they let Teddy Two Gloves go.
No, it's not going to matter. Tua's going to be just fine. Going to start all
You want to
17 regular season games.
Really?
Yep.
You want to bet 2 bottles?
Unless they got like
No. You don't get to moonwalk that back.
no, I was
No,
going to say
no.
unless they've locked in playoffs and they rest people in week 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you that. Unless they've locked in the playoffs, let's put 2 bottles on it.
I'll put a bottle on it.
So
All
is
right,
Skylar Thompson not the
One
backup
one
quarterback?
I think he
bottle.
still
Okay.
is, yeah.
And Mike White?
AJ, you are the alcohol connoisseur, carnivore, whatever.
Connoisseur.
That
Connoisseur.
too.
That's it.
Amen.
Connoisseur.
God,
Okay,
you and
got
the
it right.
English language are not
I
friends.
gotta write this. Okay, connoisseur. I gotta write that
What's
one
a
down.
good $150 bottle?
I'm
Beautiful
not buying you a
tasting whiskey?
$150 bottle
Why?
of
You're
whiskey.
so confident in. I'm
Because
the
you
one who's
don't
gonna
even
buy
like
it.
whiskey that much, Mr.
Oh, I will
Screwball.
like drinking it just to do it to you.
Yeah. I don't think you would appreciate a $150 bottle. AJ, give him a $100 bottle.
Okay, $100
$100 or
bottle.
under.
Let's look back on the shelf here.
He doesn't
$100
like
bottle.
scotch, so give him a bourbon and something he can put in his sippy cup. Not too strong because he'll cry about it.
A good
No,
100
nothing barrel strength. He can't handle it.
a good $100 bottle to me, like an Angel's Envy rye. Man, that is a good bottle. You know,
I
and I
think
know it's
rye
not
might
bourbon.
be a little too peppy for
No,
me.
I'll
it's
do it.
Super
Angels
sweet.
en-
It's yummy. It's like,
Angels envy rye.
yeah, it's like a 90, 95.
Makes me shoot it in the angel's eye.
So here's what we like. You need an intervention, an exorcism, something. Like I have no idea what's going on with you
What?
lately. It's crazy.
Said
town.
angels are rye. What,
All right,
what-
so
what's
here's
your
the
problem?
thing. We'll get him a bottle of Angels Envy Rye if Tua sits out a game. But he has to drink the first drink of it on air because I have to see the facial expression.
Okay.
Because it's going to be like a 14-year-old drinking his first beer. It's going to be hilarious.
Do I drink that chilled, AJ?
No, straight. Nothing on the rocks, no chilled. Let's be a man about it.
So if Tua sits out one game, then John gets a bottle of Angel's Envy Rye,
Yep.
but he has to drink it on air.
Yep.
And what?
He has to drink the first sip on air and it has to be neat. No ice, no water, not chilled. Drink it the right way.
I wish I would have picked an easier sipping bourbon or whiskey for him because
Nah.
this is a really easy one to sip. I think we should have done like Malort or something like that. And
Nah.
we'll talk about what Malort
Trust
is.
me, he's going
For
to
all my
struggle
friends-
with this one. I wouldn't
for all
worry
my
about
friends-
it too much.
Yeah.
Is this
for all
one of
my
the ones
friends
that
in
gonna make you go-
Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one won't, but like Malort will.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can't
it's
do the
terrible.
burn. This doesn't burn, does it?
No, I mean it probably has a little bit of burn, but like it's pretty sweet.
I mean, I burn enough at Planet Fitness in the morning.
Oh, God.
Sure you
All
did.
We're going to jump to the next one here because my time's running low. All right. Bryce Young. Is he your clear number one? I know we're going to do a full draft show. For me, I think he's the number one pick. But, John, how you feel about this? AJ, what you got?
He's absolutely, because he's like minus 2,000 now to be the first pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you go up that high, again, Vegas knows before anybody else knows, the Panthers can be mum to the word. Bryce Young done canceled his meetings and stuff with all the other teams. He's going number one. And hey, it's the right decision for Carolina, right?
Yep.
CJ Stroud, I think he has the talent to be great, but I got to see it.
Does the
Because he's Ohio
rumors-
State.
Does the rumors around Stroud and his attitude and his work ethic, does
Yeah, I'm
that
not
cause him,
drafting
I'm just saying, does that cause him to tumble?
Well, it depends on how far you're talking. I mean, there's a lot of other teams backed up there that need a quarterback. Look, this is just my personal belief.
Mhm.
I think CJ Stroud, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson are all going to be busts.
I would agree with that.
And I think
For different reasons.
I wouldn't call Hendon Hooker a bust because the guy at Virginia Tech and the guy at Tennessee aren't the same. So I got to think that the coach, the system, and talent played a lot into that.
Mhm.
So depending on where Hooker goes, he's either going to be really successful or out of the league in 3 years. Depending on where he goes.
I think out of the three that
this
you
whole
named,
draft, I'm saying Bryce Young's probably going to be the best one by far. I mean, I think he's a top 15 quarterback this first year statistically. We got that bet.
Mhm.
I think in 2 years he's in the playoffs, and in 4 years he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. I think he's that good as long as his frame stands up. But look, people talk about size, and it ruined Doug Flutie's career, and he was better than most of those jerkers. I mean, Drew Brees, look what he did, and he's not near as mobile as what Bryce Young is. So I think Bryce will be just fine. Look, anybody can get taken out with one shot, right?
Absolutely.
But I think your second best quarterback that comes out of this draft will be one of the O'Connell, Hayner, Duggan guys. But this is not the year to draft a quarterback. Like, if you're bad, you might as well stockpile more picks, trade back, and stockpile more picks for next year. Or if there's a position you feel good about, right? Like a tackle. This has a lot of pass rushers, but there's pass rushers every year. There's a corner you like, right?
There's some really good high value tight ends in this one too.
Tight end. This is a great draft for tight ends.
Yeah.
One of the best we've seen in a while, honestly.
Yeah, other than the Ohio State kid, all the receivers have tumbled out of the first round on every mock draft I've seen, other than Addison. He's like down in the 30s. But Thompson, the TCU kid, isn't even a first rounder anymore. So if you pick him up in the second,
visited the Chiefs.
So I mean, there's there's people to be had. This ain't the draft to find your quarterback.
No,
unless you're going to take a flyer on a Duggan or an O'Connell in the 4th or 5th round, then yeah, go for it.
You really think they fall that far?
I do.
thought 2, 3.
Nah, 2.
I think
Unless somebody's playing possum.
I think out of the ones you named, Levis, Stroud, and Richardson, call me crazy, but I think the one out of that has the most potential, just the style that they play, would be Levis. I think all three of those quarterbacks struggle in the NFL, but if I had to pick one out of the three, I would probably lean Levis.
Yeah.
Look, I just can't get on board with a guy that shows off his guns all the time. That's obsessed with,
yeah.
Look,
that's a personal thing you got right there.
Let me show videos of me chucking the ball literally out of the stadium because my arm's so big and I can't throw a 3-yard screen pass against Georgia.
I have my own issues with Levis, but yes, I agree with you in principle. But yes, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying about like where he sits in the draft. But my problem with him is not his attitude or his posturing, right? Mm-hmm. My issue with him is his performance last year, and I know he didn't have the weapons around him, but still good quarterbacks tend to persevere even through those types of challenges.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Here's my thing. And I know there's a lot of people that think this way too, so I don't want to be like it all came from John, but it is the way I've always felt. As a quarterback, you're giving the keys to the whole franchise to that young man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're spending a very because nobody has the cojones to take a quarterback top 5, and if you got a top 5 pick the next year, take a quarterback again. Nobody's got the cojones to do that. If I was a GM, I'd do it. Because I'd know, look, if I made a bad pick, I might as well pick another quarterback. I ain't got the guy.
Sure.
Right? You have to know if you take that guy, you can't take a Baker Mayfield number 1 overall. Right? And I heard this on TV, and it was so true. They were talking about Jalen Carter. And I think Jalen Carter, I've heard this from very, 5-6 people in the gambling world and in regular news that I respect. Jalen Carter is the best player other than Bryce Young in this draft. I believe he goes number 2 to Houston. And some people want to bring up, the character issues, this, that, and the other. Let me explain something to you.
Oh, even over Will Henderson?
Yeah. Here's the thing. There's edge rushers all over the draft. There's only one Jalen Carter in this draft.
Yeah.
All right. And character issues, and a couple of people have said this, but it is the way I feel, but I am going to echo what they said. I don't care about character issues. The only place I care about character issues is quarterback. I don't care about a guy I'm going to hand the ball to and tell him to run over people. I don't care about a guy that's got to block people that are crazed out of their mind coming at him. I want a defensive guy.
Wide receiver, I would say you might need to care about character issues.
Yeah, but
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. There are certain positions you don't need to care about it, but it's not everything but quarterback, I guess.
Yeah, a wide receiver, I wouldn't take a wide receiver in the first round unless I thought he was a surefire Hall of Famer. I don't care how good he is. We see too many guys. Yeah, it's just like running back. We see too many guys. Tight end, a little different.
And quarterbacks can take receivers and turn them into great receivers. Absolutely.
But a defensive guy, I don't care how nuts he is. I mean, look, Dexter Lawrence threw his girlfriend on a bed full of AK-47s, right? Let's just be real.
We've talked about this a lot on here, but the hills you choose to die on,
look, they made him a Pro Bowler. Nobody else talks about him. How's that guy not locked up, right? But all I'm saying is the character issues for a defensive tackle mean nothing. He would be going to D'Amico Ryans, who's a younger coach, played in the league, is a player's coach, but is also very much a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Carter fits well with him. I think Jalen Carter fits well in Seattle. I think he fits perfect in Detroit. But if I'm Houston, I'm either trying to trade if somebody really wants a quarterback, because apparently the Colts are in love with Levis. They're off Stroud. Even if Stroud's there, they're taking Levis at 4.
I can't say I don't disagree with that between those two.
If I'm Houston, maybe I try to posture with Indy. Because if you move back to 4, the Cardinals are probably taking Will Anderson if he's there, would be my assumption.
If you get Jalen Carter at like 7, 8, 9, 10, like somewhere in that range.
Oh no, he's going in the top 5, bud.
No, but
Second best player in the draft.
What I'm saying is that if you get him in what they're mocking him out, you're getting a huge value. Because I agree with you that a lot of the scrutiny that's been piled upon him in the last couple of months is, and we're in this season, right, of the draft where like it's all about just like tearing these players down to, and some of it's like, some of it's kind of like a game that all the teams are playing with each other, right? And who knows what kind of PR and like sort of backhandedness that's going on. But yeah, if you get him in that like late kind of 8, 9, 10, you're getting a steal. You're getting a steal. Like I think I agree with you. Like the criticism that's been piled on him is not justified. I wouldn't, but then again, how far you trade up for him? Is it 3? I don't know if you want to go that far. Like I don't know. So
look,
that's the question.
If he falls to Seattle at 5 with a Pete Carroll who does well with troubled guys anyway, right? That's a steal for Seattle. That's a home run.
Yeah.
That is a home run. And then if Seattle can come back at the top of the second round and get Addison or Thompson out of TCU, or who's the wide receiver out of Tennessee? Britt?
Hyatt.
Hyatt. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. I mean, that's great for them. They get a young receiver. They get their interior defensive lineman because defense was a problem for them. And then third round, if you're Seattle, you look for a corner. Look, Seattle just had an amazing draft. So anybody, I'm with you. 5 on back is a steal. But if I'm Houston, I'm taking Jalen Carter, number 2.
All right. Yeah.
So who's going to play quarterback for Houston?
What's the matter? You're going to suck anyway.
I know, somebody's got to play quarterback.
I mean, the guy they have, I feel
Davis
like,
Mills.
Davis Mills is, I think they're pretty
rolling with
happy
that?
with. Yeah. I think they are. I think they would be fine with going to next year with that. I personally don't think they're taking a quarterback at 2. I think they're doing something different. Or if they do take a quarterback, maybe they're trading up with the pick that they have in the later first round and getting a quarterback and something, right? And figure, I don't know.
Or like all the other quarterbacks we talked about, maybe they take one of those guys later. I think it's interesting. Some of the mock drafts I've seen, tight ends, I think this draft is going to be great for them, but I didn't see a single tight end drafted in the first round all of a sudden. You had 3 of them up there in the first round.
No,
a lot
2
of
of
mock
them,
drafts.
two of them are guaranteed going. Well, one's guaranteed going Kincaid. Somebody else at the bottom there will play around with the kid from Oregon State or Michael, the Georgia guy, or Mayer, obviously in Notre Dame. But look, going back to
I
that
need Mayer
quarterback
to be a
thing,
chief.
If you're Houston, look, you're not making the playoffs, and this year, to me, Bryce Young has always been the clear-cut number 1. I can't even believe there was a discussion. I've said that all along. But next year, there is no doubt. And first of all, when I say this, please do not kill me and
Here we go.
say, how can you compare him to, well, I won't compare him to Peyton Manning. I'll compare him to Trevor Lawrence, right? When Trevor Lawrence came out, no, listen, when Trevor Lawrence, the year before he came out, everybody knew he was going to be the number 1 pick. It wouldn't, I mean, if you didn't pick him number 1, you're an idiot. Right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Grant.
true.
Caleb Williams is the same way. Quarterback USC. He's the number 1 pick next year. It doesn't matter how he plays this year. But guess what? He's got not only Lincoln Riley, now his offensive coordinator is Cliff Kingsbury. So he's got 2 of the greatest offensive minds in the world, and he was already coming off the Heisman season.
Yep.
And
USC is going to be really good.
USC is going to be in the college football playoff. Like, they're going to be legit. So Caleb Williams.
Ridiculous.
Cliff
Kingsbury. Wait, is he quarterback's coach or
quarterback
he's
coach?
Yeah,
quarterback coach. But he'll be scheming up some stuff.
What kind of money does University of Southern California have to spend? You got Lincoln Riley flying on private jets out to,
Well, I think
SoCal.
Kingsbury had so much money from the Cardinals. I don't know how much he really took to go to
Maybe
USC.
he didn't
It probably
even
wasn't
care.
that much.
God,
He didn't even care anymore.
Yeah, and they both said, Kingsbury and Kiffin, they were both under the Mike Leach thing, and they were like, hey, let's win one for old Mike Leach. God rest his soul. Look, USC. Now you still got to beat an SEC team or two, but outside of Bama and Tennessee, they're the best team in the country. I mean, they're so. Back to what I was saying, Caleb Williams is the surefire number one pick. It's not even close. But you're going to have guys like May out of North Carolina, depending on how he plays, maybe, and if he comes out, maybe McCarthy of Michigan. You're going to have guys, what kind of step does Joe Milton take? Those guys are already way better than everybody past Bryce Young this year. So this year ain't the hill to die on for a quarterback.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And in every single year, it is such a freaking crapshoot. I feel like this is just my opinion. With quarterbacks, like
it is.
And guys, is it sexy to take an O lineman, like a tackle, or an edge rusher in round one?
Your franchise quarterback will thank you for it.
Of course they will. But like
Joe Thomas and Tony Baselli both just went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, left tackles that were top 3 picks. Yeah.
Unless you're desperate, like you are really, really desperate, and I feel like.
But there's a lot of teams that are really, really desperate.
I don't think there are. I actually don't think there are. I think there are fewer teams that are that desperate than we think. Like, would you take a quarterback in round one? And we have 5. We have Stroud. We have Young, Richardson, and Levis. Other than
all rumored to be first rounders.
All rumored to be first round. I just don't see how you can do it. Unless you're either really, really desperate or you got a veteran on your squad that you can have this person sit behind and learn from, I don't know. I hate quarterbacks in the first round. It's proven to be so sticky and just.
Especially at the top of the first round. Like in the first half of the first round, they don't have a great track record.
Yeah. Later in the first round.
First round, second round, like you start to get a little more bang for your buck. But yeah, first half of the first round historically doesn't go all that well.
Yeah.
Just so a little fun, we were talking about Kingsbury. His buyout from the Cardinals was $33 million. So old boy ain't hurting for cash.
What door you want me to leave out of?
Yeah. Oh, Ed Ogeron. God, so great. So Kingsbury, he could be working for a very, very small salary there with UFC. I'm sure it's in the millions, but they have not released what that is yet. But USC's got a ton of money.
Well, it's a great call because he can sit there and hang out and probably take the Texas job.
Yeah, and a little news out of Ewers today. Sarkisian, Ewers is going to be the starting quarterback. So he's our guy, is what Sarkisian says.
You hate Sarkisian. You are really like down on him. No,
I like Sarkisian a lot.
No, you don't.
No, he doesn't.
There's nothing that you said in the last 6 months that proves that you like him.
I just think he's Norv Turner all over again.
You're like, Sark's job is on the line. He is
listen,
he's on the chopping block.
I love Sark. I just think he's Norv Turner or Leslie Frazier.
Right? Great offensive coordinator, but just not a good head coach.
Not a good head coach. Where is he won at? He didn't win at USC. He didn't turn that thing around.
No, you're right. I mean, I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah, he was okay at Washington. Everybody acts like he won the freaking Rose Bowl with that team. Right? So that's all I'm saying is like.
When John hates somebody, he hates hard.
He really does.
He goes hard in the paint.
Just honest. I can't help it. People can't take honesty. I look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, look, you're out there losing to freaking Texas Tech. Listen, you say John hates on them. You don't think. Look how quick the boosters got rid of Tom Herman. You don't think that Sark's on the hot seat? You got Ewers, you got Arch Manning, right? Are the quarterbacks going to take the fall? Are these kids going to take the fall or Sark going to take the fall?
Sark is now. I think Ewers has proved he's a very good college quarterback. All the hype around Arch. If Sark doesn't get it done this year, he's in trouble.
Pulling for Sark. I like Sark. I'm just saying, look, there's just way too many guys out there. Kingsbury, Urban Meyer, John Gruden, Coach
I don't know if Urban Meyer comes back to coach. I really don't. I don't think he does.
Well,
I don't
maybe
think he
if
does.
the Ohio State fans keep wanting to run Ryan, I can't win
I
the
never-
big one day out.
I never thought. I didn't think Sean Payton was going to come back and coach. I thought he was done.
Peyton, I had a feeling he would come
Yeah,
back.
I thought he was a warm weather guy.
Yeah, you and that warm weather thing forgot about coats and heat. My God.
Hey, I swung and
I
missed.
mean,
Yeah, you swung and
these
missed. All right.
guys, the fact that they can come back and coach into their 70s, like, it's crazy.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're not capable of doing it,
Yeah.
because they probably are. I mean, say what you want about Donald Trump, but he's got to, I feel
God,
like
he
he's still
looks
got his shit
better than
together.
ever, man. That dude has unlimited energy. Like I have.
Hey,
I
it's
mean,
like-
How the hell? Whatever
guy's got
he's
way more
on, I
energy than I
want
do.
some of it.
listen, that guy's like on Nugenics, Roman, Viagra, steroids,
Straight
HGH.
speed.
Like he is just jacked up on Mountain Dew, Paul. And so I don't feel so bad. Like today we were quick pivot. Baseball, we were 1-1. Both dogs picked up a little change. People were texting me at night, and I was really debating giving out the Grizzlies, which they ended up winning outright. So that's tied 1-1. And then I was going to give out a money line parlay with the Bucks, who are up by 38 right now without Giannis, and the Boston Bruins, just trying to pick up a cheap winner. And I said, I'm just going to take the night off. Glad I did. We would have split out, but we had lost money in juice because the Bruins are down 5-2 to the Florida Panthers with 7 minutes to go. So it just goes to show playoff time, man. Look, sports, if it was as easy as our eyes, everybody'd be a millionaire. I said that 1,000 times. So
Yep.
It ain't easy picking winners.
Nope. Definitely not. We're actually going to stay in baseball. We're going to talk about a little bit of this before I get out of here. You were really down on the Tampa Bay Rays, but at 16-3, the Rays continue to roll. So how do we feel about the Rays now?
They did exactly what I said. I said Toronto was going to take 2 out of 3, which we took them. And then I said this team could be, roll back the beam footage. It clearly says, I'm like, this team could be 18-2 because right after the Blue Jays, they play the White Sox and the Reds and Robert E. Ayler Middle School and Virginia School of the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind.
You
And
got to stop that
I mean,
one. Yeah.
they don't play anybody till July.
Well, I mean, if they have a big enough lead by July, it ain't going to matter who they play at
It's
that
not going to
point.
matter. By the time they play the Yankees, they'll be 15 games in front.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
it's
rolling.
got to be the softest schedule to a start of Major League Baseball that I've ever seen in my life.
You also, I mean, it's impressive to be off to a 6. I think you have to give them a little bit. Like,
No,
It's hard
I don't. You played
it's,
it.
ha- it's
Listen,
hard
who's
to
up
win
next?
games.
The Royals?
Yeah, God, they're
Look
buddy.
at the teams they
What
play.
are they like? I think the Royals are like 4-17.
All
at
I
this
know
point.
is,
It's not
all
good.
I want to know is, listen, I did a disservice to everybody. The fact that the Rangers had Perez going at plus 110 and we took him today, I should have gave it out as a 10-unit play. How in God's name could you favor the Kansas City Royals over anybody?
I think the
Much
thought
less
process
Martin
is of,
Perez. What was I thinking not giving it out for more? I'm an idiot.
here's the thing. The Royals
The
are
Royals suck.
they're 1-11 at home, so I think the thought process was they got to win one at home eventually. It was not today though. They are awful.
That team.
And they want
is
to build this
pathetic.
downtown stadium. Like, how about you put a winner on the field first, and then we'll talk about it.
Look, if they build that downtown stadium, it's going to be just like the old vet was in Philly, rat infested. Hey, which
It'll
did
be
you
empty.
hear? Did you hear what happened at the Oakland Coliseum? They need to tear that place
no,
down.
but I can only imagine. I got to hear
my
this.
gosh. So listen, the Oakland Coliseum, the A's have been on the road for a while, right? And you know that place, it's a
They'd
dump.
like to stay on the road.
Yeah. Hey, I told you the Stars, they're up 2-0. So listen,
Hey.
so the Oakland Coliseum, totally rat infested dump. Well, in the visitors press box where they,
Oh,
no.
no.
do the visitors announcement, right? They've been, now how they haven't got this thing out is beyond me, but there's this huge possum living in the walls. So just think about it. There's a huge possum, and this possum is living in the walls of the opposing team's press box announcers got to go in at the Oakland Coliseum.
Man.
So the
Classy
Mets.
joint.
So listen, the Mets come into town, and New York, they got rats as big as skyscrapers, so they should be immune to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Mets come into town, and the announcers can't even use it because when they walk in, the possum has took a dump truck size doo-doo all over the desk. And so they clean this, and it was so raunchy they couldn't get the smell out. So they had to do the broadcast from a truck outside the stadium. That's a major league ballpark. People paid tickets for that. How is that thing not somebody hit the button? Where's Ricky Henderson to blow that thing up?
I feel like this was an inside job. Like the A's really want to move. They really want to move to Vegas.
The possum's still running loose in the walls.
Yeah. So they want to move to Oakland so bad. I think somebody from the A's organization let that thing loose in the press box. I think it was an inside job. Otherwise, how did the possum get there? That place is...
Well, look. I got this thing I want to hit every baseball stadium and Lydia run the bases because they do that on Sundays. We're just going to skip out on the A's stadium. We'll make that last.
You got to go, man. You got to go before they tear it down.
So a rat and a possum can chase her from second to third?
Just don't go in the press box. Yeah, you got to go to the Coliseum. I'd like to go there one time just to see it before it's gone. How soon do we think they move to Vegas? Because it's got to be.
Well, if you're the opposing team's announcers, not quick enough.
Yeah, jeez. All right, another MLB thing today. Scherzer gets ejected.
I love
rosin and sweat on the glove. They're going to investigate this. If he is found to have broken the rules, it's an automatic 10-game suspension. I don't know, man.
Good. If I'd Scherzer, I'd stick my middle finger up and say, see you in Cabo.
Yeah, I just don't. Let the pitchers pitch, man. Rosin and sweat. Is it really giving him that much of a...
Have you ever saw Scherzer pitch? That kid looks like he jumped in the bathtub.
Yeah. So
he's always dripping with sweat.
I'm sure the opposing manager complained and threw a fit about an unfair advantage,
shut up
but
and get better.
Just I don't know. I feel like we're just too soft all the way around. All right, we're going to jump into a little, we'll talk a little NBA here before I roll out. So Lakers, obviously they got out to a 1-0 lead. They lose tonight. Suns even up the series, 1-1. Man, they really started out slow in game 2, but they turned it on in the second half. Warriors down 0-2. Obviously we had all the stuff with Draymond. I talked to you a little bit about this the other night, John. I think the thing that bit Draymond with this suspension is previous incidents. I don't necessarily know from looking at the video multiple times. You could see Sabonis really grab his leg, kind of pull him down. I don't necessarily know how much intent there was, but I think the thing that bit Draymond is going to be all the previous incidents he's had. I think that is ultimately what bit him. And without Draymond in game 3 here, are the Warriors in real danger of getting swept?
Well, I want to say this, okay? I don't care. Look, since when has past started haunting people?
Forever. That's the new thing now, man. What are you talking about? You've been sleeping under a rock?
Yeah, I haven't, but I just brought that up to the NBA's statement was his past behavior factored into it. Mm-hmm. Well, that's BS. Yep. That's BS. What he's did in the past has nothing to do in that moment.
I agree with that.
Here's the other thing. If you've watched the games, I have to torture myself and do this. But if you had watched the whole games, this is all the NBA's fault.
Yep.
Because the officiating in this Kings-Warriors series has been horrific.
Yep.
It has been. Now, look, I really don't care what happens to the Warriors. I'm not like one of these, I love them. I appreciate the dynasty. I like Kerr.
Yep.
Curry's okay, but I'm not like a Warriors lover, and I'm not a Warriors hater, right?
Right.
And I think the Kings are a great young story.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, unless you've kept your eyes closed, it's been a totally one-sided officiated series, almost as if the refs want the Kings to win. I know they're not throwing it, but if you have watched the games, it is clearly all Sacramento.
Yep.
Like, I'm cool with the old NBA. I would love that to come back.
Yep.
But that's not what they've been calling. All of a sudden in this series, numerous times, Steph Curry, they have both arms around his waist, holding him, pulling on him. I mean, the physicality of this series has gotten out of control.
Yep.
Right? And Draymond baits people. We know he's a hothead. But the Kings have grabbed his legs and did other things.
And Sabonis did on that play. And if you watched game 2, Sabonis was flopping the entire game.
Game 1 and game 2. As much as I knock on ESPN, they did a great job of pulling old clips today with JJ Redick. Look, this is the fact that, and now, after all that, right? Because the officials answer to the league office. After all that, you're going to possibly decide this series by suspending him? This is all I have to say. The worst leader, more than government, more than your local McDonald's, more than your local Piggly Wiggly, more than your local Family Dollar, the worst leader is Adam Silver.
Yeah, him and
He's
Manfred
always
are
looked
neck and
like a
neck.
turd. He's always talked like a turd. He's always acted like a turd. He tries to play lovey-dovey with the players to keep the peace. He's a spineless ass. He's worthless. And his leadership on this shows that he might have one testicle left. But I highly seriously doubt it.
Yeah.
And if it does, it probably looks as goofy as his face does. He's a horrible, horrible commissioner. David Stern built this league, and Adam Silver is doing nothing but crushing it. And the fact that they suspended Draymond, and again, I really don't care. I'm not a Draymond hater. I'm not a Draymond lover. Sometimes he kind of gets on my nerves, but it's like Dennis Rodman. Whatever. Right? But the fact you would suspend him, what games have you been watching?
Yeah. I agree.
I
defense
agree.
rests, Your Honor.
I agree with you, John. I think Adam Silver's driven this league into the ground 100%. And I think he also made, and this is where we'll disagree, he made a terrible choice on a 1-game suspension only. This should have been a 3-game suspension 100%.
What?
Because
oh my gosh.
I do agree that, and hey, call me crazy for being a fan of someone in the Western Conference Finals and having to Western Conference and having to watch Draymond be a complete idiot year over year, game over game, and a complete asshole every single game, and do what he does, and then to see him do that, it just makes me go, if it was Giannis that did that, okay, fine, like maybe we look it over for a second, but to see Draymond do that, like, this dude just sucks. This dude just sucks, and he is an antagonist. I would be fine if they just ejected him from the league completely. Like, he's, like, to me,
now what are you going to do when him and your buddy,
trash.
What are you going to do when him and your buddy LeBron are teamed up next year?
I don't have any loyalties to LeBron. Like, I like the Lakers, but I mean, like, LeBron to me is like.
You think Draymond's going to the Lakers?
Absolutely.
LeBron, like, one of his past, there's like 5 or 6 times he's been ejected or suspended from like really critical games. This is what he does. And I'm sick of seeing it. Adam Silver should have come down with a harsher penalty. And this is the problem. It goes back to exactly what you're saying. He is not doing enough to show, and he's pandering too much to these players in this game. He's saying, okay, it's fine. Like, we're inclusive and everything. You guys can kind of just like do that. Was unacceptable. That was freaking unacceptable, especially because of what that guy has done in the past. Like, I'm sorry.
But
like,
you can't bring the past into it, even if
yes,
you don't
can.
like you.
I 100% believe you can.
So let me ask you this. Even though he didn't get ejected, are you telling me, okay, let's play your game. If you're going to suspend Draymond, I'm cool with it. You don't think Sabonis should be suspended?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
Because listen,
you have to look at it. You completely, from the league standpoint, you'd have to look at it completely. What has been the body of work? You talk about the body of work all the time, right? Like, what has happened? What's the histrionics of what has happened so far? And if it warrants it, then yes. But I can't say that with Sabonis.
Listen, I know that both of the players got medically checked out because they're playing the cat and mouse game. But I want to be totally honest. I need you to answer me honestly. Even if it was dirty, right? Draymond had nowhere else to step. Now, did he have to catapult himself? I'll agree with you that was excessive. But in the moment where he stepped, if you looked at the video, the only place for him to land was on the guy's chest. Now, did he have to raise? Did he have to raise himself up? Probably not. It's in the moment, whatever. But there's no way Sabonis gets hurt there, even catapulting him. Now, Sabonis, on the other hand, could have broke the man's ankle, tore his Achilles, tore his calf, or tore his hamstring. I'm serious. The way he had a hold. If Draymond goes, like your leg, he's not Stretch Armstrong. And I'm not defending him. Draymond's did some stupid stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But the league has totally had it out for the guy. The guy should have never got suspended. I mean, that's the only reason LeBron has a ring in Cleveland. Everybody forgets about that. They talk about how great Kyrie was. It's because Draymond got suspended, and it changed the course of the whole finals. You know that to be true, my friend.
It did.
Okay, I'm not taking it away from LeBron. He played great, but the league doing that changed the course of that whole finals.
It's a pattern. Just a pattern. I mean, I don't disagree with you what you were saying there, but it's the pattern over and over and over again. We find this guy in the same
talking about this incident.
Situation.
We're talking about this incident, bro.
Doesn't matter.
I need popcorn.
Sabonis deserves to be suspended too. He could have broke the man's ankle.
He could have.
He could have tore his Achilles. What happened? I mean, Draymond's not a young dude.
Yeah.
What if he? Let me ask you this.
You can clearly see Sabonis grab and twist the ankle. Like,
let me ask you this. Would you feel any different if Draymond's Achilles had been torn?
Like if he had a previous injury that could have been re-aggravated?
Well, it doesn't matter. After seeing what Sabonis did, if Draymond had been injured,
broken ankle or torn ligament,
would you have any difference or feeling?
Sure.
Okay. Well, then that just goes to show you either suspend both or you suspend either and find the heck out of them.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You can't.
I've watched this guy for too long do this shit and pull this trash every single time we get into this situation. And I mean, everybody else has seen it too. I'm sorry. Like, I can't.
And Sabonis has played dirtier than him the whole series.
Well, he's just like
that's the reality. I mean,
he knows how to play.
I'm not defending Draymond. I'm not
What about this? What about Draymond playing to the crowd and doing his thing and piecing, like all this stuff? Like, that's the kind of attitude, and you talk about that all the time.
Yes,
you talk about the personality and the attitude and presenting yourself as a proper individual.
Listen,
like, these are the things that I'm talking about.
That's my beef with Adam. That's my beef with Adam Sandler. He should have got a fine just for that.
Adam Sandler.
Look, Russell Westbrook had somebody.
Adam Sandler. How did we get on Sandler?
Russell Westbrook had another fan thrown out. Game 1 in Phoenix. Anybody that says Russ, and they don't even cuss him. It's Russell Westbrook. He has them thrown out if they say Russ Westbrook. The whole thing's an arbitrage.
Yeah.
That's where Silver has lost control. I agree with you. What Draymond did was what to the fans, that just hyped it up and made him look bad, right?
Yeah.
That made the situation worse. But look, that's the whole express yourself in the NBA. It's a players' league, blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm talking about with Adam Silver is over the top.
Yep.
Florida 6-3 on the Bruins.
Jeez. How's that Stars game looking?
Stars are up 2-0. Edmonton's up 1-0. But Edmonton, we know them to have no goalie. So yeah, AJ, I agree with you. I just think to suspend a player in the playoffs, you got to do something I mean, you got to do something like Ron Artest stupid run up in the stands.
When I first saw it, I thought, okay, like misunderstanding or whatever. And then I was like, then I saw it again. And then I'm like, oh, it's Draymond. Like, that's my
Exactly.
thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah, take that part out of it.
Exactly.
Though.
You got to take that out because you didn't see the guy flexing, holding his freaking foot, twisting it.
I think you should. I think you should take, like, this dude, come on. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know. Whatever. Well,
and I don't think it, for me, I don't think it warrants a suspension. I agree with John in the fact that if you're going to suspend one, you got to suspend both. I think Draymond, because of his previous actions, which I'm not condoning.
Can't stomp on a dude. You can't stomp on a fucking dude. What if it was his head? Like, what if that was his head?
But like John
that
said,
was a violent move.
That's like saying, yeah, but the way you're wording, it's like, I'm not going to go eat a steak dinner with O.J. Simpson because I'm afraid he's going to have a steak knife in his hand. You can't do that.
Okay,
that was a violent
weird analogy. So here's my thing, though. Like John said, in that moment, though, if you watch it, where else does Draymond step?
He didn't, but he could have.
Really?
He could have still stepped on him, but like in the violence of which he stepped.
Well, it wasn't violent. He lifted himself up and right back down.
Yeah.
So I get it. Again, I get it.
Listen, and I'm not gonna.
Draymond could have got hurt way worse than Sabonis ever would
have. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys ever played the game very much, and I'm not saying I played anything past college, right? Mm-hmm. But I know that situation. Mm-hmm. I've been in that situation. It's not that complicated, right? It can be more nuanced than that. I can move my body a little bit more limberly than that, right? So that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Like I just feel like I've been.
If it was anybody else in the league that did that same thing, would you suspend them?
No, literally no one else. I can't really think of anybody else.
Rest, Your Honor.
I can't. Yeah, because I know this dude. Like, and they do too.
I got you. You're very passionate about your argument.
If we do Secret Santa this year, Draymond jersey, that's out for you.
Yeah, I think that's going to be out for AJ. He doesn't want a Draymond.
That's a hard no, I'm assuming.
We'll burn my Lakers jerseys if he goes to the Lakers.
Yeah, you're going to have him and Kyrie. It's going to be better than Barnum and Bailey over there.
So fun. No. So fun.
All right. I think on that note, I'm going to duck out. Hope you guys enjoyed the first half of the show. You still got AJ and John here for an hour, talk a little draft. We'll be back with a full
NBA.
draft.
We got to finish up the NBA.
Yeah, we'll be back with a full draft episode next Thursday. So we're going to record Wednesday night. It'll be out for you guys on Thursday before the draft kicks off. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for listening, for the support. God bless, and I will talk to you guys later.
Later, buddy.
Now we got rid of him. We can talk like real men.
Actually, he probably kept that last segment together, so really appreciate Josh.
I was good. I just didn't know you were going to come at me like a spider monkey over Draymond Green.
Well, some things I'm passionate about. What can I say? So appreciate you guys hanging in with us. Let's talk about the rest of the NBA, huh? What do we think about the Celtics? They look good. Jason Tatum, he looks good. The Celtics come out of the with Boston, 2-0. They're going back to Atlanta. What are your thoughts on the rest of the series? Like, do you think this is? I mean, they got their two at home. Like, what are we thinking for the rest of the series?
Well, look, they've looked really impressive. I think the Jaylen Brown stitches thing in his hand still kind of worries me a little bit, right? But they look like the Boston of earlier this year, and this whole Giannis back thing really opens up the door for him. I mean, it really opens up the door. With the Hawks, I'm a little surprised, right? Because Boston's been 10.5, 11-point favored. And now they're only a 5.5-point favorite in Atlanta. So you're only favored by 5.5 Friday night. And only 8% of the money and bets right now are on the Hawks. So I smell a ret. I'm not saying it's a play yet, but if Atlanta's going to be uber competitive, it's going to be this game.
Yeah, of course.
But Trae Young, I don't know if you can win with that guy, man. I mean, that whole trade that changed the course for him and Luka. I mean, I don't know if you can win with either one of those guys. You know, we were always saying people were comparing who's going to get the better end of the deal. I mean, it's looking more and more like both of them are selfish nut jobs. I mean, Trae Young can't make a three to save his life. What happened to him? He used to be able to hit him from the parking lot.
Right.
Now it looks like he's, you know, put an application to be a bricklayer. Can't shoot, but he can build beautiful buildings.
Yes, he's one of the best architects out there. So
yes.
So let's talk about the Bucks and Giannis. So Giannis obviously out for game 2.
Yep.
Like is how detrimental is this against the Heat? Like, you know, what are we feeling as far as this series?
Well, right now there's 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the Bucks are up 34.
Wow.
So, it's not going to affect the Bucks against the Heat because the Heat losing Tyler Hero, I think that really hurts them a lot. And look, the Bucks still got Middleton, Holiday, Ingles. I mean, they got guys that can play. Jay Crowder. The Bucks are going to be just fine against Miami. And let's be real, though, I think the Cavaliers-Knicks is going to be a 6-7 game series, and I think it's going to be a war and a great series. Do either one of those teams? Do you think either one of those teams can beat the Bucks in a 7-game series even without Giannis? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So the Bucks, I would take it slow with Giannis because here's where they need him. They can't beat Philly or Boston without him. That I do know.
Right.
That I do know. But this series against the Heat, like if they can go back, get game, steal one in Miami and it's 2-2 going back home and then maybe he comes back. There was no bad damage, just, So I think he'll be all right. But if I'm Milwaukee, I try to get him as healthy as possible. I just don't rush him back out there because I think they can win a 7-game series without him. I mean, they're deep. Milwaukee's deep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think for the rest of the first round? I mean, how do you feel like the rest of the first round plays out?
Well, I think the Bucks win. I still think Miami steals another game, but I think that's a 6-game series. Like I said, this Knicks Cleveland series, it's 1-1 going back to New York for game 3. So, the best way to bet that is right now the Knicks are laying 2 Friday night. What you do is you don't bet the game Friday night, and whoever loses, you bet that team in game 4. Because I think it's 2-2. Like I said, I think it's a 6-game series at minimum. So for that to happen, Cleveland's going to have to win one in New York, right? But I don't see them winning both games there. So, you wait on game 3, game 4, you lay the hammer. So I think that's a 6 or 7 game series. I still like the Knicks. I know everybody's high on Cleveland. I just think the Knicks are better. I think they're better defensively. I think they got the better coach. Like, I get Donovan Mitchell. He's a beast. But look, Brunson, Randall, I just like New York more. I mean, I just do. So I think it's Knicks and Bucks. And I think, with a healthy Giannis, 5 or 6 game series. Over in the other side, Philly's going to probably sweep the Nets. The only hope the Nets have is game 3. It's a 5-point spread right now. Again, that's another one. Spread cut in half at home. I don't think there's that much home court advantage. So everybody's on Philly. You either take Brooklyn game 3 or you don't bet the game. But I think Philly ultimately sweeps them 5 at max if Brooklyn finds a way to get one. And I think Boston, same thing. If Atlanta's going to get one, it's going to be game 3. I think 5.5 is going to be the way to go. Game 3, take Atlanta plus 5.5. Because if they're going to be competitive, it's going to be that game. That's going to be the one. But ultimately, Boston and Philly, and look, Embiid's playing a lot like Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson-esque. Kind of reminds you of that old
100%.
Yeah, he's a beast. But I think, and I love their pieces, Maxey, Tobias Harris. I just, them and Boston would be a phenomenal series. I just think the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum duo is just a little too much for them. I think Boston in 7.
Yeah, Boston looks good.
Yeah, and
look, 7. You think it's going to go all the way to 7 then?
Boston and Philly, yeah, I think you go 7.
Yeah.
I think
God, these fucking.
These series go so long. This is
Oh yeah,
dragging out forever.
I know. But it helps you from a betting standpoint because now the public's going to start, and I made a mistake. One of the rules I've normally followed is don't bet game ones, right?
Yeah.
And I did that, and that's kind of why we got in the hole a little bit. So, but it'll write itself out. Look, if you think it, everybody else thinks it. So again, that's why markets and the insights, just like tonight, Denver only laying 8 to Minnesota. Hard to take Minnesota there, right? But it's hard to lay 8 with Denver too. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
You just got to be careful. I mean, everybody thought Miami would stay within the number against Milwaukee tonight. Milwaukee's up, 30 some points. So
yeah, it's a great night for the NBA. Actually, Lakers game's looking really good as well. Gosh, where is that
they're
at
1-1 now. I still think the Lakers win that series. My fear is for the Lakers, if they could have made that a short series, like if they could have stole both games in Memphis,
yes,
and turned that into like a 5-game series.
Oh my gosh.
That would have
way
really
less travel.
get LeBron rest.
Yes.
Now I'm afraid that's got 6, maybe 7 games written all over it. And if you're LA, you do not want a game 7 in Memphis.
No.
That is not where you want to be playing a game 7. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I mean, that series is a toss up. This Warriors Kings, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but man, this might be the greatest feat if the Warriors can figure out how to come back and win this series. This would be more impressive than them beating Boston in the finals. It really would.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but like it would be like really impressive, especially like so Draymond out one game, and as poorly as they have been shooting in the last couple games, for them to come out with this one would 100% be very impressive. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they win game 3, but I mean, I think Sacramento goes back 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't know how the Warriors can win because they've been so bad on the road, so bad that now they can't afford to lose a game at home and they got to win 1 game in Sacramento.
Yes.
If they drop game 3 or 4 and got to win 2 games in Sacramento,
forget it.
I can't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, let's say they do pull off game 7. And I mean, can you imagine game 7 in Sacramento, that place? That place would be a freaking, that'd be crazier than any frat party we've ever been a part of. Right?
I don't know. I played a concert. I played a little show at a frat party one time. It was pretty wild.
That place will be nuts for game 7. Let's say Golden State gets through that. You just went through a tough, physical, grueling series, and your reward is you either get the Lakers or the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Like, the Warriors are not repeating. If they get out of the first round, whoever they play, the next one's beating them. I mean, they're just...
Yeah, I
think the other thing, they're old, right? The Warriors are getting old.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to say, right? But they are.
Yeah, they're getting old. I mean, and really, if my boy Tatum doesn't shrivel up, Boston beats them last year.
Yeah.
And then Denver, I mean, they're going to make quick work of Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota steals 1. I doubt it. But then, look, that Clippers Suns, they're in the same boat as the Warriors. That Suns Clippers, can you see that thing going anything other than 7?
No.
I'm
excited about that series. I really am.
Kawhi and Durant's like Frazier and Ali just throwing haymakers back.
I haven't made an effort to put on an NBA game in my household in like 3 years. Well, 4 years, because like the pandemic ruined it for me.
Yeah.
And I'm turning on the NBA, but specifically if it's that Suns series, like I'm putting it on. Like what's up? Let's go. I want to know what's going on. Even more so than Lakers, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm checking into most of the games, you know, on YouTube TV, like live TV, right? But that series I'm very particularly interested in, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever wins that series, because the Clippers would probably get George back. I think whoever wins that series beats Denver.
Yeah, I think so. I could subscribe to that. All right, like let's have we gone over NHL yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay. So you know, we got a little bit of Tampa Bay, you know, with some you know, a little bit of surprise with Tampa Bay, the Bruins kind of rolling in their effort, and the Avalanche and the Knights. Knights are down 0-1 at home. And the Devils and Rangers. Like, how we feel about all these series? Like, what are your thoughts about these in general?
Well, right now you got the Bruins lost 6-3 tonight, so that series is split 1-1. Just goes to show anything can happen in hockey. I still think the Bruins probably roll off the next three, wrap this up in 5-6 max. The Hurricanes, they go up 2-0 on the Islanders. I think the Islanders are a good bet in game 3. They should be a short favorite or even money somewhere around there. Look, if the Islanders lose game 3, you don't have to worry about betting them again because their season's over pretty much.
Right.
But I think the Hurricanes move on there. The Oilers are up 2-0 on the Kings. You know, we had the Oilers in that parlay the other night. They had a 3-1 lead. We had a 3-1 lead in the third period and blow it, and they give up the tying goal with 16 seconds. Right? And then we lose in overtime. And McDavid, as great of an offensive player he is, he sucks on defense. He couldn't clear the zone. I mean, the Edmonton that game should have never went to overtime. So I think the Kings ultimately win that series. You know, I just thought the Oilers would get game 1. But regardless what happens tonight, I like the Kings in game 3. Stars up 2-1. Wild took the first game. You know, the Stars got to win tonight. If they go back to Minnesota down 2-0, that's a wrap. Tampa Bay 7-3 over the Maple Leafs last night. Now, Tampa Bay's up 1-0. And look, Chop's always high on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I understand how much talent they got, AJ, but that team blows. I mean, they just can't win a big game or a series, save their life. I got there's no way I'm laying $1.65 tomorrow night with that team. No way. Absolutely not. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Too rich for your blood, eh?
Yeah. And look, Tampa Bay's been there, done that. They've won cups.
Right.
I mean, I think Tampa Bay, look, I think it's, if Toronto even makes it competitive, for Toronto to win this series, they'll have to win in 7.
Okay.
Rangers Devils, we had the Rangers yesterday plus 110. I like the Rangers to win this series. I think it's a 6-game series now. I do lean Devils tomorrow night, minus 130. Again, do the Devils, you know, if they go back down 0-2 and you got to go to Madison Square Garden down 0-2, it's probably a 5-game series instead of a 6. Right? So,
right.
I think the Rangers are the biggest threat in the East to the Bruins. I was thinking Carolina, but the Rangers' physicality, adding Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks, like they just, you know, another team that's been knocking on the door past couple of years. The Golden Knights went down 1-0 to the Jets. That was surprising, but I'm going to give it out to everybody now. If you bet the Knights to win the series right now, they're plus 120. I think that's a great bet. That's a free bet for everybody out here. Take the Golden Knights for the series plus $1.20. I think that's great value. Yeah, they win tomorrow night, but ultimately I can't see the Winnipeg Jets beating the Golden Knights in a 7-game series. I just can't see that. And the numbers, the research doesn't support it. So,
okay.
And my Avalanche, they're down 1-0, laid off of that. I had a funny feeling about the Crackheads, but look, I've never ever given out a quadruple unit. A triple has been the highest I've ever given out. and we did it twice last year.
Oh boy,
right?
I feel like there's something coming here.
We did it twice last year. You know, Georgia
Triple
national
unit
championship game. Yeah,
Yeah, we did. Mhm.
but we're going the quadruple.
Oh.
Minus 130 Avalanche to win this series. Avalanche aren't losing this series.
Wow, quadruple. What does that
Yeah.
mean? It means you like put
So if you're
Four
$100
times
better, you're
the
putting
amount.
400 on it. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Avalanche ain't losing this series.
Wow, that's the most confident I think I've ever seen you in anything, other than the
And-
fact that Draymond should not be suspended.
Listen,
That is probably the most confident I've ever seen you.
and I'm gonna be as real and as honest as I can be.
All right.
There's an Under Armour book bag here on the floor of my office. It's gonna be packed nice. It's just a regular book bag, Under Armour, little black.
A
and
book
gray-
bag?
Yeah.
Is that a backpack?
Sure.
What is that?
Well, I mean,
what
I
is a
guess
book
go
bag?
book bag. You know, go Diego, like you wear it to school, like a it's got. The
Is it like a
straps.
briefcase?
No, like a regular book bag you wore to school. Put all
Okay,
your
I don't
books
know.
and
I don't
stuff.
know. I don't know what a book bag is.
Backpack is that?
A backpack,
Is that your
yeah.
preference? There in
Around
the
your
Midwest?
shoulders? Yeah.
Yeah, around your shoulders.
Yeah, that's
it's
a
on your back.
backpack.
It's a back, books, and the books are in the bag on your back.
Well,
So it's called a book bag.
no, there's more than books in there. There's
Oh yeah,
your
if
lunch.
you're in high school, there's condoms and lunch. And,
There's paraphernalia of some kind.
Sometimes, you know, it depends. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's going to be filled with some beautiful little greenbacks, and that whole book bag is going to be put on the counter at your local Hollywood casino. You've been there, very nice people.
Oh, are you saying you're throwing down your whole book bag on this?
On
bet?
the Avalanche to win the series, absolutely,
Okay,
without hesitation.
nice. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's not a duffel bag because that's like a whole nother level, right? Like we're talking.
Yeah, no, duffel bag was Georgia.
That would have been a good bet.
Backpack was Yukon. This is a backpacker.
Okay, book bag, backpack, whatever. All right, well, there you have it, guys. You got if we look at historicals, like that actually is a pretty good bet. So, John, what else we got with the betting quarter? Anything, guys? You want to add?
Well, I want to talk about the draft a little bit. We doing that?
Oh, did we not cover that with Josh? I felt
No. I want to hit on a couple things. We're going to do a
of
big
course.
draft show next week.
of course.
But again, Bryce Young to be the number 1 overall pick. I think that's pretty set in stone. This to be the number 2 pick is interesting. So I'm going to read these off. Tell me what you think. CJ Stroud plus 250, Will Anderson plus 250, Bryce Young plus 700, Tyree Wilson, the linebacker at Texas Tech, plus 800, Will Levis plus 800. Look, folks, I think everybody should put something down on this. Jalen Carter plus 2,000. 100 brings you back 2K if he goes number 2. Right? If you take Jalen Carter to go number 3, same thing, plus 2,000. So if you're saying that Houston and Arizona are both going to take a defensive player and hold their position, I think you got to go Jalen Carter. I mean, at plus 2,000, are you kidding me? Now you can hedge it. Will Anderson, he's only plus 200, but I mean, if you think a quarterback isn't going number 2, you still got great value with Anderson and Carter. You bet them both. You can't lose money.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. So in the situation where we feel like Houston might not be interested in a quarterback, Will Anderson obviously being the popular pick amongst like the mock drafters and everything, but Jalen Carter being somebody who you actually could make some serious money on if they do something, I'll say drastic, but like they could do something kind of dramatic in that moment. I would actually subscribe to that. Like that might actually be pretty good.
Yeah, like there's a prop, Will Anderson, first defensive player to be taken, minus 400. Well, if Houston or Arizona hold their position, why wouldn't you just take him to be the number 2 pick at plus money? Why would you lay $4?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Jalen Carter, first defensive player, plus 700. Well, again, if he's going to be the first defensive player, he's going to have to be the second or third pick, right? So again, take the plus 2K. I mean, so I think either way there, that's good value. I was on Devin Weatherspoon to be the first corner when he was plus 110. Now he's minus 250. The corner of Illinois more and more is saying that the Raiders take him at number 7.
Okay.
You know, Christian Gonzalez, he was kind of the leader in the clubhouse for the longest. He's plus 150, but Weatherspoon's definitely the better corner here. A couple other ones. Total number of quarterbacks to be drafted in the first round. There hasn't been more than 4. Over 4.5 plus 106. Under 4.5 minus 140.
Okay.
Total number of running backs drafted in the first round. Now we know Bijan Robinson's probably going to go.
He's definitely going to go, yeah.
Yeah, over 1.5 plus 350. The under's minus 550. So unless you see another running back that's going to pop up there, I don't. So that's a stay away.
So wait, what's the bet? It's if you minus what?
Minus 550. You got to lay $550 to win 100. If you say it's going to be under 1.5. No.
1.5. Okay, sorry. Didn't hear that part. Okay, got it.
Yeah, no value there whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Couple other ones here is if you look at the prop for total wide receivers drafted, over 4.5, I can't subscribe to that. Plus 350, but the under minus 550 again, too much juice. And look, total number of offensive linemen drafted in the first round, the under 5.5 is plus $2. So, just a couple things there. We can get more into the draft as it goes along, but I just wanted to throw out some of those things. As far as players, I mean, I think that Jalen Carter one's a good one that we were talking about.
Yeah, you can make some serious money on that for sure.
Yeah, so your props, we'll have more of those when we get into we get on the show next week again, so that you guys will have that on Thursday. I was just trying to look. They had a bunch of them up and they've taken them down now at DraftKings and all that. So
yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, how much of next week? So you guys know, obviously, we're doing a huge draft show next week. We're going to break down every single part of the first round and probably more. And my question was going to be like, how much of that is going to be like betting focused, and how much of it's going to be just kind of like speculation about like what's going to happen. I mean, we're doing this show on Wednesday, so you guys will have it on Thursday
50-50
morning.
But going to be very betting heavy. Very betting heavy.
Cool.
Yeah. And the betting side of it, we're going to get more into all the way around. So we had to work out some bugs, but coming around this coming Monday, you guys, whoever is signed up on the website, even if it's a free, everybody's going to get a newsletter that'll come out in the morning, couple gambling tips, breakdown of some games. Hopefully after the first week, I add a morning video to it that's like 3 minutes or less. So you'll have the morning newsletter that I write from my work from the night before, and a video that morning, be really gambling 101 focused. And then the week of May 1st, the plan is to start the daily show. So that'll still be BCCS, but really break the board. Where whatever games, whether it's baseball, big fun baseball, NHL, and NBA, but even once NHL and NBA are over, every day of baseball, I'll break down every game. I'll go through them, kind of tell you some of the things that I found in my studying, some of the things I'm looking for. So it'll be, a good 30-minute thing every day for baseball. Might be a little longer through the playoffs. But once we get into baseball, it'll be a 30-minute thing, and we'll keep that show running even through football season, which we'll be able to dive more into. It'll be 100% gambling focused. I mean, maybe the first 5 minutes, if something crazy happened in sports, I'll give my opinion real quick. But I want it 100% gambling focused. So it's all focused on sports betting, how to give you guys an edge, philosophy, all that stuff.
Killer. I love it. And if you guys want more about how to find out about that, like, you should go to bccsports.com, sign up for a free package. You're going to actually get enrolled in all of our email and text message marketing so that you can find out about when John's going to do this type of stuff, which is super cool. You can give us a call or a text at 615-492-8442. Of course, if you have a question or like you want to know what's going on, that actually goes straight to John's cell phone. So, props for him to give out his.
Nobody else in the business is doing that. I can guarantee you that. His
direct line. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to follow us on social, you check us on Instagram and Facebook at Bustin Chops Callin Shots. That is no apostrophes and no ands. And then BCCS Sports on Twitter and TikTok. Of course, Bustin Chops Callin Shots on YouTube. Thank you guys for everybody who's watching on YouTube. Hey, go over and, subscribe on a podcast. And if you're on podcast, go over and subscribe on YouTube. So really appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. And John, any closing thoughts or words? We're really excited about this draft thing next week. Like, it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, the draft
we're gonna
thing.
have tons of stuff, and we're gonna go harder than we even did tonight for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So, and I'll give you guys some great little prop bets, kind of like I do with NASCAR. Which, by the way, NASCAR, geez, I mean, I can pick every top 5 guy except the winner. Unbelievable. But really, I want to go back to the grind. Right, this is not a magic pill. Right. So I'm not anybody that tells you they win every day or they throw out, premium package or you don't have the gold plays. BS. I give them all the same. Every once in a while, I give out a double, triple unit, but very rarely. It's all the same. But it's about picking more winners than losers and really grinding this thing out, guys. There's no look, I know everybody wants to make thousands of dollars. Right. And I'll get you there, but it just doesn't happen overnight. Now, yeah. If you're $1,000 a game better, your life's going to look a whole lot different than the guy betting 20, 25 bucks a game starting out, right? But it doesn't, always remember this. It doesn't matter what your bankroll is. You can always make money as long as you can pick winners. And the reality is, I say this all the time. I'm not going to win every day. I'm not going to win every week. I'm going to lose 2 to 4 months out of the year. But there ain't nobody that says over the course of 365 days a year, they're going to be 150 games minimum over 500. It's just not going to happen. And I probably do myself a disservice about being honest, because a lot of the guys I'll text and be like, hey, brutal. I need to refocus, like I talk more about the losses. You know this, AJ. I talk more about the losses than I do the wins. And because it's important, I think, to speak reality to it. Like, there's this perception of, here's the reality. People ask for gambling advice because they can't win themselves. If they did, they wouldn't be Googling stuff about sports betting, right?
Right.
But then they get with somebody and they think that just instantaneously it's supposed to happen. And somebody had posted a comment about prices or whatever, which, first of all, I'm not going to put my business out there, but I will put it out there. I've always helped people out, because here's my thing. Forget what's on the website. If you're a good dude and you're not going to give me crap, because I don't need somebody texting me when we lose every night. I can read my own tickets. I don't need help with that. But I'm always willing to help people out, because if you're with me for a year, the only way you'll leave me is if you die. Because I'll make you too much money. I'll just make you too much money. All right. So I don't get stressed out about a bad day, bad week. I get a little, tissy sometimes, but I let it go after I have my moment. What you guys got to understand is, you get what you pay for, right? So just think about it this way. A guy's saying $9.99, $20, $30. I saw somebody the other day, 99 cents. Well, look, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
somebody could tell you, I got this $100 wash machine. You want that, or are you going to go spend the $800 on the Samsung? Hey, I got this nice Ford truck, $3,000. You going to go that, or are you going to go buy the brand new truck that, you don't have to do anything to? So you get what you pay for, right? My dad always said we were too poor to buy cheap, right? So it's all about quality, not quantity and smoke and mirrors. I'm telling you straight up, I'm going to lose games. If you've been here the past 2 weeks, you probably haven't made any money, right? So you've actually probably lost a little bit with juice. But again, that doesn't take away the fact when you were 8-1, not that much juice got ate up. That's why picking more winners is so much more important, right? So, and that's why the amount of plays, it's hard when you got baseball and NBA and NHL playoffs. There's going to be more. But look, when we just had baseball there, we were 8-1. I was just giving out one baseball play a day, right? Because you can zone in. Now you're taking regular season, mixing it with postseasons. You're on, you got 24 hours to turn it around with basketball and hockey, right? Kind of like football. I mean, we were over 100, 130 some games over in football, but I got a whole week to break it down, right? So, again, I guess what I'm trying to say is there a process? And if you're not truly bought into making money, and when I say making money, when you get on with me, I'm talking about making money for the year and the rest of your life. If you're looking to hit me on a hot streak for a day or a week or a month, maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
But if you're always looking for a quick return on your investment, that just doesn't happen in life.
Right.
It just doesn't.
It
right?
doesn't.
It
really
just doesn't, man. Yeah. And you got to be so, I love when I text people and they cuss me out and all that stuff. Guys, I'm trying to get on board again. You're a loser. And that's, it's always involves cuss words. I guess that makes people feel like more of a man. But look,
yeah,
that stuff drives me more because you got to go through the no's to get the yeses. And I got to go through the crap, just like we all got to go through crap in life to seek the great rewards.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not willing to fight through something, quite honestly, you don't deserve it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not willing to hop on board and say, yeah, I can't do this, but can you help me just get going? I'll if you can really win, I'll be loyal, but I need help in the beginning. Then let's have a conversation. And then let's see if you really stick it out, and then you'll get what you deserve, which is 150, 200 games over every year. But it's just like the rest of your life. If you keep looking for shortcuts, you'll spend your whole life looking for shortcuts. I don't care if it's relationships, marriage, fatherhood, motherhood, work, career, doesn't matter. If you're always looking for the easy road, you're going to die looking for the easy road because you never wanted to do anything hard.
Yeah,
and the only way you're going to be great and have anything in life, everything you want in life is on the other side of hard. So if you're not willing to go through it and grind it out, honestly, then go find somebody that's going to feed you a bunch of horse crap and charge you $20. And because all they're thinking of, I'm going to lose this guy, but with our marketing, we'll have another 20 next week.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll pay $20 a month to continue to be broke. I mean, we've all done that, right? Like we've all
I did it
paid
for the
less
first 5 years in this.
Yeah, paid less to make less and make nothing, So, well, that's great, man. Really appreciate you letting me hop in the last half of this thing, and really love being a part of this thing. So, guys, we have a huge draft show next week. It is going to be just really, really fun. We're going to break down all of the top first round, at least, if not more. We're going to break down all of the gambling side of it, like just the speculation side of it, like everything. It's going to be a huge blowout game. So, show. So you can check us out on YouTube if you want to watch it live. We're going to do that, right? We're going to do it live.
Yep.
We're going to do it live.
We're going to do it live. And look, starting Monday will be the newsletters. And then by the end of the week or the first part, I'm going to add the video with the newsletter. You guys email me, john@bccsports.com. First of all, if you're not on board, let's get on board and let's have a conversation. And secondly, even you guys that are on board or you're not, whatever, read the newsletters. Give me feedback. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to know about breaking down a baseball game? What do you want to know? What are things you want me to put in the newsletter that would be helpful and beneficial for you guys? Right. So, I put myself, but a lot of my jargon, I had a guy say, well, what's your process? And it was like a long book text message. Yeah. And he was like, man, that's a lot. And I'm like, dude, you don't get to be 150 games over just by luck. I mean, if I had luck, the Oilers don't give up a goal with 16 seconds and the Minnesota Wild don't give up a goal with 8 seconds. And, if I had luck, dear God, how many games over 500 would I be? So it goes, there's a lot that goes into it, but I want to give you guys what you want. So please email me. Hey, I'd like to see this in the newsletter. Read a couple of them. Hey, what do you like? What do you not like? Because I'm doing this for you guys, right? Sure. Like I could just give you picks and you pay me and you're just a number, but it's not. I want to do something for you guys. Plus we have Jake's working on the new website. So hopefully sometime midsummer, that'll be very interactive, up-to-date lines, all that stuff on every sport. So great stuff coming. We're working hard for you. We've been a little silent, but it's just because we've been planning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. We're getting ready. It's kind of like our winter. We're stocking up for the winter, right? And then we have the big summer coming up. Yeah. So, and if you guys want to check out that show we have going on next week, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube at Bustin Chops, Callin Shots, no apostrophe and no and you'll get a notification whenever we go live with that. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So, man, so great, love it, and
love having you, AJ. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, my brother.
Gosh, I love being on with you guys, and I produce the show, and then occasionally get to let me talk and argue with you and fight with you about Draymond Green. So
yeah, I will wear my Draymond jersey next month.
And I will burn my Lakers jersey if he ever goes to LA. So, really appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great week. We will have this episode out for you around midday Thursday. So hope this weekend is awesome for you. And in the meantime, in between time, hope you have a great week. Talk soon.
Love you, my winners.